Hello, Serge here from the Backyard Driving Range. I have a question. In fact, this is not a question day. This is a golf instruction day. I want to talk about a lesson I recently gave to one of my regulars here in Greenville, South Carolina. Vern, who's a lefty. And Vern's become a quite addicted golfer. He belongs to a couple of organizations that play tournaments all over South Carolina and North Carolina. And he goes to a lot of tournaments. And so usually anytime he's getting ready to go to a big event, he calls me up for a tune-up. Now Vern's been with me at least 3 years, and Vern has one major problem, and that is he has an issue with his vertical alignment, or that I called recently in a video, vertical alignment position. Question came in about how figuring that out finally helped. And vertical alignment basically means that if we have alignment and I have my aiming line, that's where I want that's the ball line where I want to hit the ball to, and I'm parallel left, all right, parallel right if you're a lefty like Vern is, but for all intents and purposes here I'm going to talk from the right-handed version because that's the one I can do best. Vertical alignment, I called it position in a video, but right after I did that video and I got it all written up and everyone else to send in, I realized position is really not the best word, so I changed it to vertical alignment posture because it's part of your posture. Okay, whenever we talk about your setup where your toes are parallel left, your toe line means also your knees, hips, shoulders, and eyes. That means all your posture is straight up from toes to eyes, or we could say toes to nose, would be all parallel left. In Vern's case, it's parallel right. All his posture all the way up. Now Vern loves to get crisscross, and I mean he gets crisscrossed big time. And what does crisscross means? We'll call it the X factor of posture and alignment. All right, and once you get into that, you can swing and come down across the ball with a fair square club face and start it at the target and have it slice way to the right of it or left of it, depending on what side of the ball you're on. Or if you release it a little bit more, you'll pull it way left if you're a right-hander and way right if you're a left-hander, and then you can top it, chop it, everything. Your body's crisscrossed. It's X. Your body is not moving proportionally correctly throughout the whole swing. And proportionally correctly means that everything turns the right amount it needs to turn in the right proportion when everything starts from the same relationship at address, which should be all parallel parts all the way up. Parallel alignment posture. Okay? So that just opens up a menagerie of problems. Now, Vern's biggest problem also on top of that is he's about 6'3", really strong, and on this lesson he was already warming up when I showed up. And as I walked to the range and got really close to him, he hit probably the best shot with the best swing I've ever seen him make in 3 years. And Vern's biggest problem is that he has difficulty getting set up correctly. And when you're not set up correctly, what's your chances of making a good swing and hitting a good shot, right? What's the Sergism for good posture? The setup determines the motion. How your body moves is created by the position in which you place it to make the motion. All right? And Vern tends to, as I've already said, get in there crisscrossed from toes to shoulders. But the other thing he has is all his angles are all messed up there, and his body's out of position, and it's going to start making big compensatory moves. But Vern also has a big problem in that again, I'm going to do this from a right-handed version. He really likes to kick his front knee, and in his case, when he kicks it, he also slides the hips. So he doesn't so much reverse tilt with a lot of knee kicks. He kicks it this way, and he reverse tilts, which creates a reverse C. So instead of having himself convex to the target, where he's creating that bow, so to swing his arms to the target, he collapses inward convex. All right. So that means there, and he has to come out of the shot. So again, he's very susceptible to hitting chunks or tops. All right, and I mean, he can hit some of the worst shots way out to him to the left, which for right-handers would be way out to the right, and sometimes he thinks he's shanking, but he hasn't. He's actually hit shots and said he said I shanked that one, and the grass mark was right in the middle of the golf club, because from his angles can get out so bad that when he comes through and is falling back, his hands, what I like to call under rotate, means the lower hand's rotating upward, and when that happens, where's the face going? The face is rotating upward and open, and he can hit a shot. In this case, I'd be hitting a house right over there, but it wasn't hit off the hosel as a hosel rocket. It was hitting the center of the club face, because the motion, he's falling away from the ball so bad and falling backwards, it's making the hands under rotate. So it just opens up this whole menagerie. So the things that I do with Vern every time is just getting him back to good square fundamentals and of setup, and then trying to get him to maintain those angles and make a controlled golf swing. Because once just think of a golf swing as a domino, as a stack of dominoes all stacked up. You push the first domino and brrr, they all fall down. And in many cases, the first domino was starting right there, or with a really bad takeaway with your hands. And then the ultimate really bad domino was making that parallel swing, cocking at the top, and just everything starting to fall all over the place at that point. So golf is a game of angles. The fewer, the better. All right, that means we want to start with our fewest angles, and good posture, good alignment, right? Vertical alignment posture. Vertical meaning from the toes to the shoulders and the eyes, they're all down. From toes to nose is all aligned vertically, and then maintain my angles as I swing. And some of us have a lot of difficulty with that. And I really think that, and I've always said that the taller you are, the more important it is to maintain your angles, right? The taller the tree, the deeper the roots have to go to give it stability and keep it vertical. And that's the same thing in golf. So the taller you are, the more critically important it is to set up well and maintain those angles. And so Vern always comes back. We fix him pretty good. But I guess it's like once you get out on that course and you hit playing those long par fours and those par fives, and you start going for the gusto. Next thing you know, too much movement, too much turn, backswing gets too long, and then all the angles are just going every which way, and then your ball can go every which way. So I think the key is golf's a game of angles. The fewer the better. We have to start with the good angles and then maintain them as well as we can all the way to the finish. And that is the beauty of the peak performance golf swing, because we are a limited turn swing, which means we don't make a big turn that will automatically in and of itself pull us out of position into too big a turn, which will start to make the knees collapse and pull the spine off and all those other issues. We can stay here and get into our good setup position, and we are also to swing that the head stays relatively still. It barely moves, if at all, and that's the only way you can truly keep your head and spine still, is by keeping your wide knees out with pressure and knees constant, so that your head can stay constant. And you'll see that you can put a focus on my head, but anything in the background back there, and you can see that my head stays there. You can put it on DJ, and from the takeaway to the top, that head's just about in the dead exact same spot. If it moves, it is just ever a little bit of a twitch. And when you do that, that's when you'll be able to start in this position and return there and hit the ball solid straight, likely longer, keep it in control, hit it where you want it to go, provided you aim correctly, and shoot those lower scores. That's it for the search for today, and I'll be talking to you all again soon.